Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Analysis and Assessment. As you notice, I am making this video after some time. There has been so many things going on in past few weeks that kept me busy and I was not able to focus on making these videos. But I will try to be more regular in the future. Now, let's get started. On your screen, you see this table. I'm trying to capture the cumulative percentage change for NVIDIA in this quarter after the earnings and also the previous quarter. As you see that I have different tabs here. In this quarter after earnings, you see that the cumulative percentage change so far is 3.48% at this point. It's starting from 29th May through 20th June. The maximum cumulative percentage change after the latest earning is 4.60% and the minimum is 2.9%. So as you see that after the earnings, mostly Nvidia faced the upward pressure, you know, compared with the downward pressure. Let's take a look what happened in the previous quarters. In the previous quarter, you see that Nvidia maximum cumulative percentage change was 17.2% and the minimum was 22%. So in the previous quarter, you see that the more pressure was the downward pressure versus the upward pressure. You see that minus 22% versus 17%. If we go one quarter prior, you see that the minimum cumulative percentage change was minus 18.8% and the maximum was 3.20%, right? And that was sometime in December, January, and February, right? And those 3 months were not good for NVIDIA. And Q3, Q2, and Q1, the situation is different, right? You see that the maximum cumulative percentage change on those quarters were much higher than the minimum percentage change, the 25% positive versus 12% negative. In Q2, similar story, 36% positive, 8% negative, and Q1, 38% positive and 15% negative, right? Or 15% down, okay? And in the Q1, you see the similar story, 38% up versus 15% down. So coming back to this quarter, what this data tells you, in my opinion, the data is positive for NVIDIA. As you see, the maximum cumulative 4.6% versus minimum cumulative is 2.9%. So more upward pressure we see in this quarter after the latest earnings. And the next question is, will this upward pressure continue until the next earnings? We'll talk about it in this video. We'll try to evaluate in this video. So in this chart, I'm showing you this table. There are multiple tables. So basically, this file talks about the minimum, average, and the maximum expected price change after the earnings. And I showed you this table a few weeks ago as well. So this calculation suggests the minimum point NVIDIA might go and touch is 119, average is 138, and the maximum is 162. I'm not going to go into the detail how I came up with this calculation, but I can tell you inputs to this analysis is the forward PE and also EPS percentage change in each quarter. Okay. And if you take a look at this table, you see that in the future quarters, EPS projections for NVIDIA expected to go further up. In the next 4 quarters, the EPS growth is about 38% total, right? So next quarter is supposed to be better quarter than the previous quarter. Okay, in the previous quarter, NVIDIA had a multiple hit due to the export ban and the China market loss. But I'm guessing in the next quarter, I mean this quarter, NVIDIA would come up with some alternative plan to secure some business from China again. And now let's take a look at the forward P for Nvidia. As you see on your screen, as of Friday last week, Nvidia forward P was 32.92. 1 week prior, it was 32.49. And 2 weeks prior, it was 32.43. And if you go further in the past, you see that it was ranging between 30 and 35, right? So this tells that as of this point, Nvidia has more room to go further up, but it would need some supportive data to get more positive momentum for Nvidia. And according to the Fibonacci levels, as you see on your screen, the next level of support is around 138, and that is based on the 78% retracement. And after that, the next level of support is around 126, and after that is 118. But on the upper side, after 138, the next level of resistance is all-time high for Nvidia, and that is a 153.11. So you might notice that Nvidia, whenever tries to go above 145 or 146, it faces some pushback, right? Because around 146, some consolidation is happening for Nvidia. But if we draw Fibonacci levels at a shorter interval, you might notice those consolidation. Let me show you. So now, as you see on your screen, I have redrawn the Fibonacci levels using a shorter interval, and that is 90-day hourly interval. Okay, so as you notice, the highest point Nvidia touched in last 90 days was 145.68, and that creates a strong resistance for Nvidia. So as you see, Nvidia tried to break 146 level at least 3 times in last few weeks, but no success. So Nvidia might try to make one more attempt to break 146 level in next few days, but if it is unsuccessful, then in my opinion, Nvidia might go further down. I mean back to below 140, you know. Now let's take a look some high level news regarding Nvidia that might give us an idea how Nvidia may behave in next few days. So let's take a look. This one that says Nvidia, Broadcom, Marvell and other chip stocks fall on unexpected US move. Let's open it. So it says that the fall comes amid reports indicating Washington's plan to end waiver for chip makers to send American technology to China. And you can see that that's not something Nvidia would be looking for. So another one that also talks about the China impact is this one that says market chatter. US considers ending China waivers for global chip makers. And if you scroll down further, you see multiple news talking about the same thing, that is the China impact due to this waiver. And other than that, I do not see any other significant data or news that could impact Nvidia in the short term. So this China business for Nvidia continued to be at risk, and more impact we see from the Trump administration setting up new rules for Nvidia and chip maker when they export to China. And now if you take a look, the economic data due this week is starting from Monday. I don't see any big data is coming. Tuesday, comparatively quiet as well. Wednesday, nothing much. Thursday, we have initial jobless claim that could be important. Friday, we have PC index data, and that's a very critical. Okay. So the year-over-year change forecast is 2.3%. And let's see if the actuals can meet or beat 2.3%. In my opinion, the actuals might come less than 2.3% because the CPI data that we noticed last week or so, the inflation was going down versus going up. So this concludes my analysis and assessment for today. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.